Radio check, radio check. We should be live. Yeah, let me know, folks, if you can hear me. But I think we are live. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and welcome along to the US Grand Prix for now the fourth stream of the weekend. We have got qualifying taking place in 30 minutes time. I should probably move that timer there from the top right to the bottom of the screen here, but yeah, qualifying starts in around 30 minutes. Brilliant. There are 250 people waiting in the next live stream after this one. Yeah, I should probably there is a message there actually to tell them that that's the race stream, not the quali stream, but I think they'll find it soon enough. Yeah. Would like to let you guys know that Stroll, when he did crash with Esteban Ocon, he actually got handed a 5-place grid penalty for that crash. So he's going to be starting wherever he qualifies today. He's going to be 5 places back from there. Yeah, unfortunate, but sort of is the rules, and it was a pretty bad move, to be honest. So yeah, I guess it is what it is. All right. So Stroll's in last, probably. His quali performance wasn't all that great in sprint quali, so we'll see if he can improve any better in the sprint race, but not ideal. Fernando Alonso posted on his story on Instagram once he got taken out from the race, saying, if there was a graph for this year's luck that we've had, it's been a total flat line, and he hopes that it recharges in time for 2026. So we'll see how that works. I should probably actually update the points gap that we've got between the two drivers. I think McLaren and between the two McLaren drivers, of course, they both scored non-zero points, but I do need to update the points gap between Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri. That's now from 63 to 55, and also the points on offer are 25 points on offer. Wait, let me just go back. 25 points on offer. Yeah, let me change that. There we go. Okie dokes. Brilliant. F1 Gamer, what happened to your socials? IG is private. My Instagram has been is currently in a bit of an appeal state. It's not been ideal. Instagram has taken it down for some posts that I made like 3-4 years ago. I don't think they've unbanned me or released make my account public yet. So I'll get that figured out at some point. Yeah. I'm a little late for the face reveal, but congrats on 200k. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Thank you for typing in the chat, and yeah. Where are you streaming from? Which country? I'm streaming from the UK, actually. So it is now 9:30 p.m. here in the UK. Quite dark outside, but yeah. You might want to change the 2024 poll time because Max beat it. Oh yeah, I should change that actually. 2025 sprint poll was a 132.1 from Mr. Max Verstappen. So we'll see if he can beat his own pole time. We'll see if the McLarens can beat him. The McLaren drivers will have to really give themselves sort of a big reset after that mess in quali. So yeah, not the mess in quali, the mess in the sprint race. Both Norris and Piastri, both of them will have emotions running pretty high, and they've had a few hours now to sort of let that calm down, and they'll be hoping that they can get on with qualifying today without any sort of major issues, and yeah, quite exciting. I mean, I did watch the replay. You guys can just sort of see what my opinion is on that, but sort of after rewatching the crash, I did sort of see Nico Hulkenberg was very much on the limit of grip. He was about to lose his car, did lose his car ever so slightly beforehand. And yeah, the inside line was dusty, which was a pretty big problem for Nico Hulkenberg. And then Piastri was being rather aggressive and chopped across him. I think what would have happened is if Fernando Alonso wasn't on the inside, then Hulkenberg would have had a little bit more space to his left to be able to avoid Piastri. But from Piastri's mirror's perspective, all he saw Nico Hulkenberg, and because the Formula One mirrors just aren't that big, he didn't see Fernando Alonso to the inside. So he decided, right, I've got to be super aggressive, I've got to get ahead of my teammate, which, you know, in a championship battle at some point you do have to get aggressive, you do have to chop some people up. To be able to win a championship. So he was like, okay, no, Hulkenberg's on my inside. I don't think anyone's on his inside, so I'm going to be aggressive and make sure that, and hopefully I don't crash into him. And of course, that sort of backfired a little bit. And yeah, Alonso on the inside, then Hulkenberg in the middle, and then Piastri on the outside. Just turned into a massive sandwich, as Nico Hulkenberg quite aptly described it once he got spun around. Okay. Gotta love how Stroll continues to drive without a tyre. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long it took Stroll to really notice that he didn't have a tyre, but yeah, I would notice pretty quickly, you know, if I was driving a car that didn't have a tyre. But maybe you know, my alternate theory was that Stroll would just was driving away a little bit further off into the distance, so he doesn't have to talk to Esteban Ocon, who he very clearly crashed into and very clearly ruined his race. But yeah. All right. So yeah, not nothing all that much exciting, to be honest. 22 minutes till we get underway for sprint quali. I've got a few more memes actually. Would you guys like to see some more memes? Let's bring them up. Here we go. We've got, well, this isn't so applicable for Charles Leclerc, but at some point it will be applicable, so I will bring up this meme when it is required. But 5th place for Charles Leclerc, not too bad. This was Max Verstappen at the end of turn number 1. I'd say that's pretty accurate, actually. This was Piastri, maybe after he chopped across Nico Hulkenberg. He probably shouldn't have done that, but then again, he couldn't really see to the inside of Nico Hulkenberg, see if there was a driver there or not, if Hulkenberg had space. And this is just both McLaren drivers just out of the both of them out of the race, done for the day. Well, not technically done for the day. Their cars are still repairable, and they will be repaired in time for quali. So yeah, both McLaren drivers will be taking part. And then we get back to the good old classic Ferrari cycle. But I think this one's most apt right now. So let's just get that up on the screen. There we go. Okay. So, what are your opinions on Max possibly winning his 5th title? I think Max, well, the thing is, it's still 55 points. He's going to need what happened today to happen tomorrow. If it happens tomorrow, then for sure Max could be on his way to a 5th world title. But yeah, it's a very big but. He needs that to happen tomorrow as well, which seems rather unlikely to say the least. I think Yuki deserves one for make up 11 places. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see that Yuki did go all the way from 18th up to 7th, and then of course scored some points as well. Hasn't had the biggest number of points to his name this season, but yeah, 2 more points to his name after finishing up in 7th place. Yeah, driving his car with Nico Hulkenberg's front wing underneath it until turn 11. Yeah, it was quite the surprise, really, how he still had any sort of resemblance of grip with a front wing on top and then a front wing underneath his car. But you know, maybe that's what it was. The extra downforce from 2 front wings on the car helped Tsunoda get ahead of a lot of drivers. But no, it was really, really good from Tsunoda. All right. What's the difference between the Grand Prix and the sprint? The sprint will have a longer race and the drivers will have to do a pit stop. So it'll be 57 laps or 58 laps of the race tomorrow, and we only had 19 laps of racing today. Yeah. But 20 minutes now till we get underway for the sprint race. Surprised that floor wasn't damaged. Yeah, it was pretty lucky. Of course, the floor really only starts after the first third of the car. You got the front wing, then you've got the wheels, and then you've got sort of the nose cone area, and then the side pods, and that's where the floor sort of starts. So the front wing didn't get too close to that and managed to avoid damaging the floor. All right. Yeah, qualifying will be getting underway though in 19 minutes. Folks, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to subscribe. Oh, I also need to update the light counters from the sprint race. I should probably change that so it is for the actual race. For the actual qualifying session, let me just type that in. Yeah. So, is there anything else that I do want to talk about? Oh yeah, so Kimi Antonelli unfortunately not making up too many places over the course of the sprint race. Started up in 11th and only up into 8th place. Managed to score 1 point after Oliver Behrman got handed a 10-second time penalty, which was a little bit harsh to be honest. So yeah, unfortunate there for Behrman, and Antonelli scored 1 point. But if it wasn't for that, only would have gained 2 positions, would have Antonelli, which is, not ideal. He didn't have the pace really, today. And his teammate was actually fighting very, very close. George Russell, I think what happened when he was battling with Max Verstappen was that he was close to him, as we saw. He did get very, very... he had one opportunity to overtake, but the problem was that he was just a little bit too far back, and I think he was using his battery a lot more than Max Verstappen was. So essentially, Verstappen at some point would, Russell at some point would run out of battery and stop being able to attack, and that's exactly what happened. He attacked for about 3 or 4 laps, and then once that was done, it was... he had to fall off the back because he had just run out of battery charge, whereas Verstappen wasn't pushing as hard on the battery and still had more left to defend with. Has Piastri's cars been fixed? Yeah, all of the drivers' cars will have been fixed. None of them had such major impacts. So, yeah, we shall be seeing everyone racing. The sprint was awesome. Yeah, the sprint really was... fantastic. One of the best sprints that we've had, I'd say, this season. One of the best sprints we've had for quite a while. Admittedly, we only had like half the sprint race under actual racing conditions. About the other half was pretty much under safety car conditions. But I think that's how we like it. Why do you think Gasly is still there? Because Gasly's a really competent driver. He not only is quick on the track, but he is pretty handy in the simulator and in terms of helping out the team develop their upgrade packages and stuff like that. So that's why Gasly's still there. And for the more cynical answer, if you want, Flavio Briatore hasn't found a second pay driver yet to replace him with. But... Franco Colapinto still yet to score a point, and it's just not been really great for Franco Colapinto, has it? But he is bringing in money for the team, and I guess that's why Flavio Briatore doesn't care too much. F1 Gamer, do you think the pressure is getting to Piastri? I don't... Well, in Baku, of course, that mistake was very much down to the pressure. I'd say this weekend, though, not so much. This mistake, I would blame it slightly more on Piastri than I would on Nico Hülkenberg. But the thing is, Piastri, in his mirrors, he had a limited view of the racetrack. He only had the view of Nico Hülkenberg. He wouldn't have been able to see Fernando Alonso to the inside of Nico Hülkenberg. So... in that situation, he thinks that Hulkenberg is the only driver to his inside, so that's why he makes the decision to say, right, only one driver to my inside, and it's Hulkenberg, who's not going to be trying too hard for a podium or anything like that because he's already happy to be up in 4th position. So now's probably a good time to get super aggressive and try to overtake my teammate. And then, of course, he did not know in that scenario that to the left of Nico Hulkenberg, there was Fernando Alonso, and that resulted in a sandwich. And since it resulted in a sandwich, Piastri chopped up Nico Hulkenberg, who then, they had contact, and then Norris also got crashed into as well. So I wouldn't say that's a sort of issue in terms of pressure. It was just a bit of a misjudgment based off the limited information that he had. I'm sure if Piastri would have known that Alonso was on the inside, then he would probably have not been so aggressive. But that's the thing. The mirrors on Formula 1 cars, super duper small, and you don't have the biggest, the largest amount of visibility. Okay. When is Red Bull expected to finalise the team for 2026? They'll probably finalise it about 2 days before, to be honest. I don't really know. Red Bull is always a little bit interesting in terms of what they do for their drivers. But, you'll have Max Verstappen driving. Maybe it'll be Tsunoda, maybe it'll be Hadjar, but I can't suspect it's going to be anyone else. So there have been some rumours that Tsunoda is going to get replaced, and it could be true, it could be not. But I don't know. It's down to Helmut Marko and what he's feeling like that morning. Just had a cup of coffee for the stream. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. Thanks for thanks for staying up at some pretty late hours in the night for most of you folks. So very much is appreciated. Right. Oh, mirrors work fine. Max saw Russell coming and gave him room to overcook the corner. No, for sure. Mirrors definitely do work. But what I'm saying is Max saw Russell coming because Russell was the only car that was meant to be in his mirrors. He didn't see... Russell didn't have another driver to his inside. So it was sort of 3 cars rather than just being one car. Oh, well, yeah, 2 cars to his inside rather than just 1 car. But either way... whatever's happened has happened. Whether there will be repercussions or whatever McLaren decide to call them, I don't know. But we'll see how today's qualifying goes. I suspect there'll be some setup changes for the McLaren boys to try and ensure that they have enough pace to stay ahead of Max, but whether those setup changes are going to work, whether the McLaren drivers are going to be able to deliver a lap, because to be frankly honest, when it comes to having a driver deliver the best possible lap at the perfect possible time, Max Verstappen is always there, and the McLaren drivers just aren't. So yeah, they'll maybe get a slightly quicker car with a different setup and things like that, but they're still going to have to hook the lap up together with emotions running high after that double DNF. So I guess we'll see what happens. Right. Let's see, the track is super rubbered in, and with the sprint and the IMSA races happening back to back. Yep, that's another thing. So lap times will be going down again. So I suspect Max will be going down into the 131s today. We had 132.1 yesterday, and last year the gap between sprint pole and normal pole was 0.3 of a second, so we would be seeing around about a similar level of improvement in terms of lap time. I think I can also get up the quali data that will have loaded by now. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. All right, let me get rid of the sprint race data, sorry, and then we shall get the we'll get the qualifying data up on the screen. And I should also change that to qualifying mode. There we go. All right, fantastic. Yeah. Okie dokes. USGP does take a toll on our schedules. Yeah, I think Mexico is also going to be very similar in terms of the schedule. So the Mexico qualifying is also starting at the same time as the qualifying at the USGP. So yeah, next weekend is also going to be a bit of a bad weekend for sleep, folks. So get your coffee ready. What's the link to watch the stream for today? It is ORF, so it is, where is it gone on the screen? There we go. Surfshark VPN, you join a Austrian VPN server, and then it's ORF F1 to watch the Formula 1. Yeah. Okay, dokes. I watched your stream for like 2 years, and I'm so happy for your commentary, so happy for you, for all the love. Thank you very much, Forchi, and yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. We've got 3,000 people tuned in. This commentary is going to be slightly lower energy than normal. Firstly, because I'm ever so slightly tired. But the second thing is that I don't want to be waking up my flatmates that are living around me. So, yeah, I'm not going to be shouting super duper loud today. Or maybe I will, right at the end of Q3 for about 20 seconds or so, but yeah. Usually being an American F1 fan isn't great, but this weekend is nice. Yeah, of course, this is sort of how it goes, isn't it, for the time zones. Some races are fantastic for some folks, some races are not great. I know the races in Australia, the races in China and Japan, they're very much 2 a.m., 3 a.m. commentary jobs for me. So, yeah, but it tends to work out all right in the end. Isam, thanks for the donation. Las Vegas will be chaotic. Indeed it will. But we'll see how it goes. One more Piastri DNF and Verstappen is back in the race. Indeed, that is how it's going. With 5 races left to go, it will still be very, very tight. You know, even with a DNF, it's going to bring that points gap from 55 down to 30 if Max wins, and that will. Yeah, it'll bring it down to 30, but still 4 races at closing up 30 points is still quite significant. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And then the other thing is that if, let's just say, so this is very much a hypothetical scenario, but let's say the Max Verstappen does win this USGP and Piastri DNFs. So that makes it so the points gap is 30 points. Then in the final 4 races, as long as Piastri finishes in second place, and my maths is correct, then Verstappen can't win. So in that scenario, if McLaren want to win the World Drivers' Championship as well, with one of their 2 drivers, their best shot is to basically say to Lando Norris, block Max Verstappen as much as you can and hope and make sure that Piastri gets second place. Would Lando Norris do that? Absolutely not. In that scenario, Lando Norris will also be trying to go for the championship. And then we would very much get a 2007 season repeat where we had Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton battling away for the championship so hard that they forgot to take into account Kimi Raikkonen coming through and stealing it away from both of them. So that is something that could very much occur if Piastri does get a DNF and Max wins. But, you know, it doesn't have to happen this race. It could also happen in the next few races as well. Oh, yeah, there are sprint races. Okay, yeah, there are sprint races. Yeah. That's the other thing, isn't it? And there are 5 other races if you include... Wait. Oh, there are 5 other races. Yeah, no, my maths is just wrong. But either way, it's going to be close. So, yeah. Yeah, sprint races just don't come into my maths calculation ever. I always forget how they exist. So, yeah, should probably remember to do that. All right. Yeah. So that is all, folks. We'll be getting underway in 5 minutes' time. you guys got any other questions, any other things that you've got that you want to ask? Just about Formula One in general, maybe. But also track temperature is up. We've got 47.1 degrees track temperature, so that is hotter than it was for normal quali. Hotter than it was for sprint quali, which means that tire overheating is going to be slightly bigger of a factor when it comes to qualifying today. Yeah. But should be good overall. Yeah, the final sector is a bit of a problem in terms of tire overheating, but we'll sort of get that figured out. I will also do a flying lap as well. Can you do a recap of the sprint? I probably will do one a little bit later on. Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to take you through an onboard lap of the circuit. Alrighty then. So this is, of course, the final corner. You just want to get a good run out of here when you're doing your quali laps. Oh no, there we go, folks. We have 5 minutes left before quali even begins, and we've got so many cars lining up at the end of the pit lane. I don't know what's going on and why everyone's lining up to the end of the pit lane so early, but we've got people coming out really, this is strange. I would not have imagined for them to come out this early, but here we are. So yeah, anyway, drivers lining up at the end of the pit lane. We'll be getting underway for quali shortly. You make your way up in towards turn number 1. Hopefully don't crash into your teammate. Hopefully don't squeeze Nico Hulkenberg on the inside, but you know, if that happens, just continue on, and you reach towards turns number 3 and 4. Very high speed, and at this point, nobody really taps the brakes through this sequence of corners. It's actually quite interesting. So you're only major braking. So let me just get my mouse onto the track map. Here we go. So you have a major braking at turn number 1. And then you don't touch the brakes through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe a little tap at 7, then again a little tap at 8, but then by the time you reach turn number 11, your brakes are once again reasonably cold, and you need to make sure that you tap the brakes just ever so slightly a little bit to warm them up just before you fully jam onto them. Because yes, this is a long, very high speed section of track where you're not on your brakes for a long time. You know, it's sort of similar to turn number 12 here, but the difference is at turn number 12, you're 13, 14, 15, 16. They're all reasonably slow speed corners, which means that you've not got as much air passing over your brakes, which means that they stay hotter for longer. So yes, turn number 11. The drivers have to be careful not to have too cold brakes. Then yeah, you're just sort of making your way through 8 and 9. A few taps of brakes there, but you don't want to be jamming onto the brakes because that transfers a lot of load onto the front, and then your rears slide around very easily, especially with all of the elevation change that you've got at turns number 11 and, well, through the S section, shall we say. And then we have got, then you're onto the back straight, and you've got a bunch of drivers. Well, you're just trying to slipstream, get close to the driver ahead of you as much as you possibly can, and have your DRS wide open. Then you go in towards turn number 12, send a dive bomb to the inside, push your rival off the edge of the circuit because it's pretty standard behavior around here. But no, if you do overtake a driver, you have to make sure that you are still on the track. If they go off the edge of the track, then you know they'll get a penalty, but you yourself have to be on the circuit. George Russell did try to do that, and it didn't work out very well for him, pushing Verstappen off the track and then also going off the track himself. Then through this slow sequence of corners, really good for overtaking abilities, loads of different lines that you can take. And it's also, this section is also reasonably tough on your rear tyres, the slow part of the track. There's lots of very big traction zones. So just looking at the track map again, you've got turn number 1, very big traction zone here, turn number 11, big traction zone, turn 12, big traction zone, turn 15, turn 13, and then also the final corner as well. So your rear tyres actually take quite a lot of beating around here, and then yeah, you've just got the final 2 corners where you tap the brakes, flick it to the left, and I've definitely said that about 12 times this weekend about the final few corners, but that pretty much is what it is. Stay within track limits and don't get a lap time deleted. Gabriel Bortoletto knows the pain of getting a lap time deleted. All right, is this a low drag or a high downforce track? This is a reasonably high downforce track. The drivers are running, well, it's not high downforce per se, but it's somewhere in the middle, because you do have some very long straights, but you also have some very high speed corners which you need to balance in between. So if it was on a scale of 0 to 10, the cars are probably running between 4. Probably on the lowest level, the drivers that are quickest down the straights probably running a level 4 of downforce, and then the drivers that are slowest down the straights probably running around a level 5 or 6. So it's very much in the middle. Okay, but qualifying is getting underway. Let me, in fact, get rid of this countdown timer. We're 15 seconds away from the drivers getting underway. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller, and I'm going to pop myself over here on the screen. And I think that's all, really. Oh yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to do was just edit this ever so slightly. Thanks for the coverage as always. It's going to be fun. Stay hydrated, folks. Thanks, Jamlock, for the donation. Very much is appreciated there, buddy. And yeah, remember to stay hydrated, folks. I'm going to have a quick sip of water as well. We've got Esteban Ocon, first driver out onto the track. He's making sure that his car's working after having that crash with Lance Stroll. Gasly and Colapinto make their way out onto the track as well, and Isaac Hadjar's coming out. Any lasting car damage? No. All drivers that had any sort of damage during the sprint race, everything has been repaired, and they're all taking part in qualifying today. Brother, you're very good at doing what you're doing and very enjoyable to listen to. I wish you work at F1. I also wish I work at F1, actually. It would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Sort of getting... Thanks for the comment, by the way. Thompson Jonas. I've definitely said that wrong, but thank you very much. And no, it'd be pretty cool, to get flown around the world to commentate Formula One races, get to watch all the stuff on the circuit, get to meet the drivers and stuff. That would be pretty awesome indeed. I would definitely say that would be a dream job. Yeah, drivers coming out onto the track now. We've got a 5.5 kilometre long circuit, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue in terms of drivers, in terms of traffic. We did have a little bit of a kerfuffle at the end of Q1 yesterday, where we had some drivers not able to set their lap time early enough, but I think in the end it worked out all right. The engineers have learned from their mistake of sending drivers out too late, and they will have learned their lesson, and no more issues for today. All right. So here we go then. Esteban Ocon starts his flying lap. Down the hill he goes, and the Haas is looking particularly planted today. Behrman was looking to score some points as well this weekend, but unfortunately did get that 10-second time penalty during the sprint race, which was pretty unfair from the stewards, if I'm being frankly honest with you guys. But he's looking pretty good. It's, of course, the Haas's home race as well, so it'll be nice to see if they can get it up into the top 10. In sprint quali, they did get eliminated out of Q1, and that was both of the drivers, so it will be ideal if they could get that turned around. Ocon misses the apex ever so slightly at turn number 12, but it's not really turn number 11. It's not the biggest concern, though. The biggest concern, of course, is getting the best possible exit as you blast your way down the straight, and Ocon does exactly that. We've got a double yellow flag going through sector 1, and that's Isaac Hadjar, stopped on the side of the circuit. It's not going to affect Esteban Ocon, but anyone else on flying laps, Liam Lawson, Nico Hulkenberg, Behrman, and Hadjar's in the wall, folks. Hadjar is in the wall. Red flag is out, and Isaac Hadjar is okay. He's getting out of the car. He's very frustrated. Nose cone damage, suspension damage. He's not taking part in the rest of the session. But that is red flag number 1, folks. Red flag number 1. Isaac Hadjar's in the wall. Pretty high-speed incident there going through turns number 5 and 6. I suspect he lost the rear because... Yeah, the problem is through these corners, right? So you're going through turn number 5 and 6 at super high speed, and you need a reasonable amount of grip on the front and on the rear. But if you're going in too hot, so you're going through turn number 6 too hot, you got too much speed, your only available solution to slow the car down is either to downshift aggressively, which is pretty bad for the engine and pretty bad for the gearbox, or you tap on the brakes. But the problem with tapping on the brakes is that your load, so your car is reasonably flat going through the corners, maybe even ever so slightly tilted to the rear because you've got, you're accelerating. But you tap on the front brakes, you do this, and all of the weight that's on your rear tires just disappears. So we're getting the replay here through Isaac Hadjar. It's not exactly that what Hadjar did. Hadjar just got onto the power. The rear of the car was not sticking. I don't know if it was a tyre warm-up issue or if it was just a steering input issue, but yeah, not ideal there for Hadjar. Just turning into the corner, the rear does not stick. Probably a little bit too aggressive on the steering wheel in terms of how quickly he turned it, but yeah, these cars are reasonably sensitive, and Isaac Hadjar in the barriers, folks. Yeah, he's pretty frustrated over the radio, but I can imagine so. Some feedback on the balance. Essentially, look, they've just asked Liam Lawson, in fact, just over there to the right-hand side of the screen, they've just asked Liam Lawson, have you got any feedback on the balance? So, yeah, that's essentially what they're trying to do, figure out if there was something wrong with the car. But, yeah. Lewis could be saving a set of softs for later, or he thinks the track's too hot, or for a push lap on softs. Yeah, Lewis is probably just saving a set of soft tyres for later. Ideally, if you do make it into Q3, you want 2 fresh sets of soft tyres at the end of Q3, so you have sort of equivalent levels of grip on both of your flying laps. And yeah, the way to achieve that is, of course, use 1 set of mediums in Q1, so then you'll have a fresh set for Q3 saved up. Do we need a red flag? Do we need a red flag counter? Probably not, but I do actually have a meme of red flags somewhere. Now, I just need to find it, and I don't know where I put it. But here we go. I think it's... wait, let me find it. Give me a sec. Okay, well, this was very much applicable during the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Where is it now? Here we go. Can we have your Azerbaijan Grand Prix qualifying session, your red flag session interrupted by qualifying? Hopefully we don't have anything like that today. And then, of course, the other one is, can we have some uninterrupted driving for 5 minutes? Probably not. But we'll be getting underway shortly soon. It's not going to take too long to clear up Isaac Hadjar's car. Red flag after 9 seconds is diabolical. No, the red flag was after 3 minutes and 9 seconds. But either way, still pretty quick. Yeah. Okie dokes. They should stop quali right now and run the race from the positions on the screen. Nico Hülkenberg dominance. Yeah, Hülkenberg top of the times. Well, nobody's really set a time because of Isaac Hadjar's shenanigans. But the yellow flag's still out there. It was quite the big impact at quite the high speed, so they're going to have to check the barriers first before they actually go out and do some running. Isaac Hadjar's car, clearing that up is not going to take too long, but checking the barriers, making sure everything's good, is the more time-consuming aspect of this. All right. Just got here what happened. Isaac Hadjar crashed the car into the barriers at turn number 6 and 7. Yeah, that's what all the drivers are waiting for. They're all sat in the pits, waiting for the green flag to come out. The track has been declared clear, but the double yellow flag is still at turn number 6. So I don't know how the track's been declared clear. But I guess that's been revoked, actually. Never mind. We got a red flag before a single real lap. Yeah, exactly. Ocon was on a flying lap, but had to abort it because the red flag came out before he finished. So, unfortunate for him. But Isaac Hadjar, first driver eliminated out of Q1. And that means only 4 of the drivers that are currently going to be driving around the circuit will have to make it yeah, we'll be getting eliminated. Well, no, it's still technically 5, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Russell should use a set of soft tyres for most of the session. Russell, well, yeah, he's got 4-lap old soft tyres, so he should be able to do one. He could probably do 2 more runs on them, especially the second run of Q1. Russell will, as long as he puts in a good lap in the first run, he'll be more than fine to be able to do the second run on a used set, because the used set, the second run in Q1, especially for the sort of top tier teams, top tier drivers, is very much sort of as a rhythm building exercise rather than, you know, an actual quick lap that they need to make through it into the next session of quali. F1 Gamer, who's your favourite driver? My favourite driver is Seb Vettel, actually. I was actually thinking about it. I could get a cardboard cutout of Seb Vettel and sort of put him back in the background of the shot, because, well, that question is very, very common, and it would be pretty obvious, you know, if I had a Seb Vettel poster, or like a cardboard cutout that's like 6 feet tall, right here, then I think it would be pretty obvious which driver is my favourite. Okay, I think you are suitable to work as a race commentator, but if that happens, I will miss you as the best F1 live stream commentator and timer. Might feel sad if that happens. Yeah, I mean, I think that's quite unlikely, folks, that I would become an actual commentator. We've just got the message from Race Control. Q1 is starting in 4 minutes' time. Let me just get the Q1 restart, shall we say. Q1 restarts in 4 minutes' time, so I'm just going to stick that up on the screen for you folks. And yeah. Where is the countdown timer? There we go. 3 minutes and something seconds. Because I haven't done much real life commentary. You know, I've done a lot of stuff on YouTube, but to become a real life commentator, they do also want to see some sort of TV experience, real life commentary experience at a racetrack, and yeah, haven't got much of that. Oh my god, we've got a big old queue at the pit lane. Nearly every single car is lined up, ready to go. They're all wanting their tyres to cool down. As you can see, they're just to the just over there on the screen. Track temperature 47 degrees Celsius. So that means that, yeah, all of the tyres are overheating, all of the drivers are going to be struggling on their flying laps. That's why everyone is sat at the end of the pit lane in this big old queue for 3 whole minutes, letting their tyre temperature seep away and trying to ensure that their flying laps will be good. Okay. Oh, Zoe, thanks for the message. You'd be great. Also, it's been a while actually since I've seen you on the channel, but some of the new moderators, Zoe has been a moderator for a very, very long time on the channel, but not been so frequently on stream. So yeah, a new moderator, maybe for some of the new folks that have joined recently. All right. Why has Max not come out? Because I guess Red Bull... Max hasn't come out onto the circuit up until this point. I think he's lined up at the end of the pits right now. So, yeah. Hulkenberg P1. That's what I'd like to see, really. That's what I would like to see. And maybe we could see Alonso also up there. He had a really good sprint quali and managed to put the Aston Martin up into 6th position. So if he can do that again, then that would be really, really good. Why is Lewis Hamilton on mediums? Because Lewis Hamilton is with the Ferrari team, and the Ferrari team likes to do interesting things. No, I think he's on the mediums because they just want to save a set of soft tyres for the end of Q3. That's it. Vettel was good until he crashed out, and while he was leading at Hockenheim. Yeah, I mean, I really don't want to be reminded of that, to be honest. As a Seb Vettel fan, I'd like to purge that from my memory. Yeah. Okay. 40 seconds now till we get drivers back out onto the circuit. Brilliant. F1 Gamer Juan Pablo Montoya. Yeah, I actually am Juan Pablo Montoya. No, I'm not. My my real name is Larry Montoya. Yeah, I hope you guys can realize that that's not actually my real name, but for YouTube's sake, Larry Montoya is my name. What does type mean on the screen? I think that is tire, not type. Yeah, it's the font's a little bit small, but yeah, it's tire compound. So this S is the soft tires, the M is the medium tires, and then the drivers, which do have the white color tire, that will be the hard tire. Thanks for the donation there. Pick 2 best live stream channel, very much is appreciated. I think you guys appreciate the webcam as well. I don't know why it says FP1 starts in 000. Qualifying is very much underway, and yeah. Yeah, I think you guys appreciate the webcam. I think it's a nice addition to the stream. See my sort of reactions going sort of crazy on certain occasions, but I think it's nice to have. Yeah. Can you do tomorrow's race live stream with the Banana Leclerc costume? I don't have a Banana Leclerc costume. However, I was thinking, if the championship battle does go down to the last race of the season, I will be wearing a suit for the last race of the season. You've got to dress up in your best style for the World Championship battle, and I will be in a full-on suit for the championship if it does go down to the last race of the season. If it goes down to the second last race, bit boring, and there's no point. But if it's down to the last race, I'll be there. Or I could get a banana suit as well. That'd be quite funny. But yeah. Anyway, we'll sort of revert back to the Formula One. We'll get away from the F1 Gamer podcast because that's sort of what we do around here. If you are new to the channel, when there's a red flag, when there's a little bit of a break in the action, we start the F1 Gamer podcast. But now, since we've got cars on track, we'll be back to the Formula One commentary. Yeah, so time's ticking down. We've got 12 minutes left on the clock, 12 minutes 45 seconds, and most of the drivers making their way out of the pits. There's still quite a few drivers in the pit lane, actually, just sort of very, very slowly driving out of the pits, because of course they don't want their tyres to be too hot. Banana Goats, thanks for the donation. Yes, a banana suit. Well, I think you're a little bit biased there, given that your name is Banana. Has got, banana in it, but why not? Why not? Cue the Skyfall. Yeah, I mean, if we could get Charles Leclerc on a sunset lap again, that would be incredible. But I have a feeling that we're going to be getting the... where's the meme now? This is the problem. I've got too many memes on hand. Where is it gone? We might get an absolute depression version of Charles Leclerc today, rather than the sunset Charles Leclerc lap. So, yeah. I do sort of need like a stream deck where I can just press a button and then the stream pops up, the meme pops up, rather than me having to like search it. But we'll see how it goes for the Ferrari team. Their qualifying performance yesterday, though, was pretty abysmal, to be honest. Not good whatsoever. Ollie Behrman quickest in the first sector, 25.4. He out-qualified his teammate Esteban Ocon quite significantly yesterday. Well, he was looking quite quick compared to Ocon, but then in the end, Ocon managed to close it back up. So we'll see if that happens again. But Behrman looking strong at the start of this session. Bortoletto quickest in the middle sector, Hulkenberg quickest in the final sector, a 134.3 from him. His teammate 4/10 back. Not ideal again from Bortoletto. He is quite the ways back from Hulkenberg at this Grand Prix circuit. But of course, Bortoletto hasn't raced here before. A lot of the rookies have not raced at this circuit before, so you can cut them some slack. Alonso purple in the first sector by 0.3 of a second compared to Ollie Behrman. Incredible job there from Mr. Fernando Alonso, and yeah, we'll see if he can keep it up in the middle sector. And yeah, Behrman across the line. He's 0.5 back there from Nico Hulkenberg, and he goes into second place. We've got 12,000 people watching the live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Goes a long way and really does help out the channel massively. Yeah, Alonso purple in the middle sector. He goes just a tenth quicker than Franco Colapinto. Verstappen goes quicker than Alonso in the first sector, but only by half a tenth. So still incredible pace there from Fernando. Purple final sector there from Liam Lawson. Great job from him. The car obviously not that unstable if Lawson is able to drive it. Alonso across the line, half a second clear of Liam Lawson. So good job there from Alonso. Colapinto across the line, only 6th place for him. And Russell purple in the middle sector. We'll see what Verstappen can do. He's making his way to the middle sector line now as well. And F1 Gamer, I'm still laughing at telling Stroll you can't drive on 4 tyres. Why are you driving with 3? Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny when I was saying it as well, actually. Russell ends up a 10th back from Fernando Alonso. So Alonso still got the pace here. He didn't have the best, well, he had pretty bad luck at the start of the race. But his pace is still there. And still pushing nice and hard. Verstappen wasn't quickest in the middle sector. In fact, 3 tenths down, 2 tenths down on Russell's middle sector. Regardless, doesn't matter. He goes quickest overall because his final sector was good enough. A tenth and a half clear of Fernando Alonso. You do have to take into account Fernando Alonso, fresh set of soft tyres. Max Verstappen, used set of soft tyres. Charles Leclerc on a fresh set, half a tenth clear of Verstappen. Incredible job there from Charles Leclerc. And it's time for the Ferrari meme. Where is it? The wrong one. This is the correct meme. We're back. For now, Charles Leclerc top of the times. Hamilton looking all right as well. But of course, Charles Leclerc's lap, fresh set of tyres. Verstappen's used set of tyres. So you take that into account. Verstappen's still quicker overall. Piastri and Norris yet to set their laps. In fact, they're on their flying laps right now. So Norris and Piastri making their way through sector number 2. Still quite a bit of traffic. Not the best timing from the McLaren engineers, having to make their way through traffic at the slow speed part of the circuit. But they should be, they looks like they're coping all right. Norris, I think, backs out of his lap, actually. Norris backs out of his lap after making a mistake. Hamilton up in 3rd position, looking fantastic there from Lewis. 320k through the speed trap. So it looks like they've bolted on a little bit more downforce than they had yesterday, have the Ferrari team. And Oscar Piastri, only 5th position, 3 tenths back from Leclerc. And it's also a fresh set of tyres. I mean, he did have a bit of traffic through the final sector. Norris completely aborted his lap after making a mistake in sector number 2. So, yeah, not ideal. And Norris, in fact, going on his 2nd flying lap now. So, let's go on board with Lando Norris through the high-speed S's, looking fantastic. The car looking stable as ever. And, you know, he's got similar enough steering inputs to Isaac Hadjar, but yeah, the car's not just falling out from underneath him. He is 4 tenths down on Charles Leclerc. Oh, my God, a huge snap there. Surely you abort the lap, Lando. There's yeah, not much point in pushing on much harder than that. He was already 4 tenths down in the first sector and then made it even worse by having a huge snap of oversteer at turn number 10. I don't know what's going on with Lando Norris right now, but maybe emotions running a little bit high after that DNF in the sprint race. He's going to have to clear his mind, get a full reset going, because he's got to hold it together and put in a good lap. Otherwise, yeah, Verstappen is fast approaching and Oscar Piastri is, well, leaving off into the sunset. Carlos Sainz up into 4th place. Williams looking really strong as well. And Alex Albon, though, down in 17th. Quite the big gap between the two teammates. Nearly the full second, actually. 326 kilometers per hour there for Carlos Sainz. I don't know if he got a tow. I wasn't looking during his flying lap. But 326 is the fastest that we've seen out of anyone through the speed traps. Was Norris on a used set of tyres? No, Norris looks to be on a fresh set. No, it says he's done 1 lap on them. So, not ideal to say the least. Okay. Yeah, but Piastri's time's not all that good either. And everyone's quite compressed, actually, which is interesting because there was quite big gaps that we saw during sprint quali, but now the gaps are much more compressed. All right, Norris starts his 2nd flying lap attempt, 3rd flying lap attempt, I'm not sure. Either way, going down the hill now, looking pretty good so far. Got to keep those tyres in the correct window. And again, car looks very planted, very much on rails as he goes through Sector 1. He's trying to stay away from these curbs. They vibrate a lot, unsettle the car a lot, and Norris is a quarter of a second up on Stroll's first sector time, but it's still not all that amazing from the British driver. A 25.3, that's still 3/10 down from, a quarter of a second down on Verstappen in the first sector alone. Lando staying out, and he's doing another flying lap. It looks like he must have had enough fuel to do 2 runs. Okay. Why don't you put your... Oh, yeah, actually, I will move my webcam over. I can't do that for the race, but I think for now, I think that's fine. So you guys can see the top speeds. Or I'll keep alternating it once in a while. But Norris, actually, he was a bit slow in the first sector, but the middle sector really made up for it. Yeah, very, very quick indeed. 37.6. He goes 3 milliseconds quicker than Russell in the middle sector, and he goes about... Well, he goes 27 milliseconds quicker than his teammate. He comes across the line now, and it is 7th position. McLaren are washed. It's 6th and 7th place for them. What's going on? I have no idea. Yeah, they're both 3/10 back from Charles Leclerc. I don't know if they went with the... I don't know if they went with the wrong setup, if they changed the... if they went in the wrong direction after quali, but... Oh, it's just zoomed in again. But essentially... Oh, sorry, not after quali, after the sprint race. But essentially what happens is that once the sprint race is over, the teams analyze the data, they talk about the setup, they talk about the balance of the car, and then they make some setup changes to try and make the car faster. And, yeah, it's just not great really, is it? Maybe it's just their sort of mental aspect. After getting a double DNF, are they both able to reset? Are they both able to put it in their past and get on with today's qualifying session? Or are they both sort of running on high emotion, still not thinking straight? Because, it's a pretty high pressure scenario, and yeah, it depending on how you deal with your emotions, how long it takes for you to calm down. You still could be feeling and suffering from the effects. George Russell, great lap from him. Fresh set of soft tyres. Keep that into account. But he's 2/10 clear of Charles Leclerc, 3/10 clear of Max Verstappen. Fantastic job. All right. Then we've got Sonoda across the line, 9th place for him. He's still quite the ways back from Max Verstappen. Antonelli, it's a Mercedes 1-2. Oh my goodness me, are we back in 2018? What is going on? Yeah, like, I think was it 2017 Mercedes got a 1-2 here in quali? No, I don't think so. But either way, they probably did in 2016. They've probably done it at some point. And, yeah, Mercedes 1-2. What's going on? Russell, after having an incredible Singapore Grand Prix, Antonelli was quite the way back, very much far away from the limelight because, yeah, his performance wasn't too amazing at Singapore compared to his teammate. But here he is. It's a 1-2. Verstappen, 36 milliseconds down on Russell as he crosses the second sector line. So he's got 36 milliseconds to make up in the final sector. It's around a kilometre and a half or so is the final sector. So... yeah, Verstappen should be able to do that. Let's see what he can do. Coming through turn number 19 and 20, trying to stay within track limits as well. It's quite tough, but Verstappen does so, kicking up a little bit of dust in the process. And now through the final corner, stamps on the power, well within track limits. A 10th clear of both Mercedes drivers, and it's up into first place by a reasonable margin. And once again, fresh set of tyres for Max Verstappen there. So pre-equal conditions, Russell, Antonelli, Verstappen, and he's a 10th clear. Very, very nice to see from Max. Hulkenberg again up into 5th position. This man is incredible. Where is he getting the pace from? No clue. The Kick Sauber's got the same Ferrari engine, yet is in a Ferrari sandwich as well. So somehow Sauber have got a car that's as quick as Ferrari, except Ferrari have got about 3 times the budget that Kick Sauber have got. So make of that what you will. But the Sauber's looking pretty good. Oscar Piastri is on a flying lap. So is Lando Norris. So is Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton. Let's see as what the drivers can do as they come across the line now. Esteban Ocon improves up into 16th position, but that is him eliminated out of Q1, ladies and gents. There's only 20 seconds left on the clock, so these are the final runs. Albon's going to get a move on, otherwise he's out as well. Purple first sector for Carlos Sainz. Oh my goodness me. He's a 10th clear of Verstappen in the first sector. Lawson improves up into 5th place. Brilliant job there from Lawson. And here comes Gasly, 7th place for him. Lando Norris did not improve on his previous lap. Was a 10th slower actually. Wait, McLaren. Wait. Lando Norris did not improve on his previous lap. He's not on a flying lap as of right now. If a few things change, Norris could genuinely get eliminated. Here comes Albon. Here comes Piastri. Piastri does improve, not by a huge margin. Still stays in 11th position. All right, a few drivers left now. They've got to put in some good laps. Well, we've got Bortoletto across the line, 16th, unfortunately for him. Ocon also out. Colapinto up into 15th. We've got Stroll, and Stroll's also on a slow lap as well, actually. Stroll unable to improve by the looks of it. Stroll got a lap time deleted, actually. Stroll had a good lap, then got a lap time deleted. Alex Albon now coming out of the final corner, currently in 19th position. Can he hold it together? Can he put himself up right at the top? 8th position it is for Alex Albon. And Franco Colapinto gets eliminated. So does Gabriel Bortoletto. So does Esteban Ocon. So does Lance Stroll. And so does Isaac Hadjar. The McLarens 12th and 13th. Honestly, they are very much done for the day. I don't know what's happened with the McLaren duo. I'll have a quick look at their top speeds, but by the way it's looking, it's very much done for the day. They're very much switched off because don't know how they end up in 12th and 13th. You do have to take into account it was a used set of tyres for the McLaren drivers. They were on 6 and 5 lap old tyres, and when the track temperature is so high, that will have a reasonable difference, but that big of a difference, I think it's a bit unlikely. Also, I would like to clarify McLaren. Oh, Alex Albon, lap time deleted, folks. Lap time deleted for Alex Albon. He is out of Q1 for exceeding track limits at turn number 15. Someone just said in the chat, Williams are cooking, but yeah. It's unfortunate there because Albon has just not cooked, and he's out of the session. Unfortunate to say the least. Yeah. We'll get the replay up shortly, but typically the FIA are pretty good with these track limit deletions. They don't do it. They don't make the mistake of deleting laps that aren't exceeding track limits. And Sainz is still up there in 9th position. Still got some more pace to improve. Yeah. And let's get the replay here of Alex Albon. And yeah, just gets on the power ever so slightly too early. And that sort of drifts him wide. Oh, it's just zoomed in again. It just drifts him ever so slightly wide. And Albon is not happy. Can you check? Because I feel like my front tyres were on. So yeah, Albon thinks his front tyres were on. It was very, very marginal, but I think he did get his lap time deleted there, and Stroll got his one deleted for turn number 12, and yeah, that seems fair as well. Oh well, it is what it is. Little Kimmy's doing well, good to see. Yeah, I mean, he's only, what's that? He's 2/10 back from George Russell, but he's in 3rd position, so I've got to say, fantastic job there from Kimi. I'd say the thing is, can he keep it up? You know, all drivers can occasionally hook together a really good lap. Question is, how consistently can you hook those good laps up? Yeah. All right. What time is Q2? We don't normally know, but I will just put up a timer for you folks. Normally, it should start in, I think, 2 minutes and 47 seconds, but I don't really know. So I will just err on the side of caution, and I'm going to increase that to 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but yeah, it should be around about then when quali starts. We normally have a few minutes of a gap in between Q2 and in between Q1 and Q2. McLaren brought downgrades. Yeah, this is what I want to say. Oscar Piastri, you can see it just at the speed traps, 324 kilometers per hour for Oscar Piastri, and Lando Norris doing 325. The McLarens 100% have changed setup in between the sprint race and qualifying, because McLarens were doing the same speed as Hamilton there. You can see Hamilton doing 321, 322, and yeah, the McLarens have changed their setup. You see Norris third fastest in the speed traps. That was not what he was doing yesterday. If any of you folks were watching the stream yesterday, McLarens were dead last in the speed traps. They were nowhere to be seen because they were running a high downforce setup. They have changed something, and clearly they've changed something in the wrong direction. So, well, how will that play out? Will Max Verstappen be getting pole again? I don't know. The blue mini sectors, folks, blue mini sectors means the drivers are coming in or out of the pit lane, so they'll be coming out the pits or into the pits. That's what the blue mini sectors mean. Okay, qualifying is actually starting in in a few minutes or so. It's probably 2 minutes actually. Yeah. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's starting in 1 minute. Let me just adjust the timer. So I did have it right correct initially, actually. 1 minute and 3 seconds and qualifying is getting underway. Why would Hadjar start from the pits instead of just last? Hadjar would be able to make some setup changes. That's all about it, really. He'd be able to make his car a little bit more tuned towards race conditions. You know, if it's extremely hot, then the teams can change the setup to make it a little bit better in terms of tyre wear and stuff like that. But that's about it, really. We've got drivers queuing up at the end of the pits, getting ready to go for Q2. Okie dokes. I'm going to have some more water. Can I have a quick refresher on what the colours mean? Yes, the colours. So these colours on the track map here, these colours don't mean anything. They just define the different sectors. So sector 1 is red, sector 2 is blue, sector 3 is yellow. This green dash things here and here, those are the DRS zones. Green dots are the DRS detection points. The white dot here is the speed trap measuring point. And then on the mini sectors and stuff, blue is drivers driving out the pit lane. So as you'll see come up here for Ollie Behrman very shortly. Then you'll have, yeah, there you go, driving out the pit lane for Ollie Behrman. Then yellow will be slower than personal best, green is quicker than personal best, and yellow is fastest out of everyone. Norris comes over the radio. I'm probably going to need a new steering wheel next run. The whole left-hand side grip has come off. So Norris has got some issues with the steering wheel. I haven't seen that in a while, to be honest. But yeah, they'll swap the steering wheel. It's not too big of a concern. They've got loads of spare steering wheels. So, yeah. Can you show us an example of the track map to spot if someone's being towed? Yeah, I'll show you. I mean, typically it's pretty standard. What will happen is there'll be a driver sort of driving reasonably slowly going through this part of the track around 9, 10, 11, waiting for the driver behind them to sort of catch up to them. And then on the exit of turn number 11, they'll be just about this point here, and the driver will be exiting turn number 11. So then they'll just be giving them a big old tow. If they're not giving them a tow, you'll just see a very clear and easy overtake. But if someone is getting given a tow, the two drivers will be moving sort of together down the straight. All right. Back after a while, face reveal. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good actually. Had quite the nice weekend, to be fair, so far, and I think tomorrow also we'll be having a nice weekend as well. So yeah, hope you guys are having a nice weekend. Hope you guys are enjoying the Formula 1 coverage, and yeah. All right, flying lap's getting underway shortly now. Behrman, first driver just to come across the line to start a flying lap, and Lando Norris makes his way out the pits. Okie dokes. Why do drivers do a couple of laps even if they're in the safe zone for quali? Well, the thing is, you're not 100% sure if you're in the safe zone, because the drivers from the safe zone can improve and then push you into the elimination zone and stuff like that. Or the drivers from the elimination zone can go up into the safe zone and push you down into the elimination zone. But also the thing is, it's not so much just about staying in the safe zone. It's also about the drivers building it up into quali, building it up into their final Q3 lap. Because if you send a driver out on their own just to do one single flying lap, it's never going to be as quick as if you get the drivers to slowly build up over the course of 4, 5, 6 laps, over the course of 1 hour, to go for that maximum attack, most perfect lap that they can put together. So essentially that's what it is. That's why they send the drivers out, sometimes even on used tyres, just to essentially say that, we want you guys to go out, build up your rhythm, get ready, get your braking zones ready, get everything, get in the flow of things, and then they can get ready for their final Q3 run. Antonelli is really flying, actually. He's second fastest in the first sector. He's fastest in the middle sector. And here he is now. Quickest through the speed drops as well. 328 kilometers per hour for Kimi Antonelli. He may have got a toe off someone. I, again, wasn't really looking. There's so much going on. But first and 2 tenths clear of Oliver Behrman. 133.0 from him. And yeah, not too shabby to say the least from Kimi Antonelli. Fernando Alonso, third fastest in the first sector. Carlos Sainz, fastest in the first sector. I don't know how the Williams are so good in the first sector. They're quicker than the Red Bulls. They're quicker than the McLarens. Some incredible pace, to say the least. And Verstappen heads his way up the hill now towards turns number 2 and 3. Sainz looking very racy indeed in that fantastic livery, I've got to say as well, folks. Fantastic livery in that Williams car, and would like to see some more of that in the world of Formula 1. Verstappen goes fastest in the first sector. Yeah, as I said, 10 seconds ago, that the Williams are quicker than the Red Bulls in the first sector. That didn't last very long. But Hulkenberg is purple in the middle sector somehow. Incredible pace from the Hulk. And Carlos Sainz, second place there. He's about a 10th back from Kimi Antonelli. And then we have got Lando Norris, actually purple in the middle sector. He takes it away from Nico Hulkenberg, goes about a 10th clear, and got a few more corners left to go, does Lando Norris. Alonso, third place from him. He's a 2 tenths back from Kimi Antonelli. And then we've got Hulkenberg in 5th. And Max Verstappen, who's that? Pierre Gasly, lap time deleted for exceeding track limits at the final corner. So any Pierre Gasly fans, that's a lap time deleted for him. Lando Norris across the line. Looks like the McLarens did have pace after all, and they are 2 tenths clear of Kimi Antonelli. But Verstappen is even quicker. He goes 2 tenths clear of both McLarens. And if you compare the gap between the Red Bull and the McLaren from sprint shootout or sprint quali till actual qualifying, it was 71 milliseconds. I think 71 milliseconds for the sprint quali. Now it's 170 milliseconds, so a little bit bigger. We'll see what Piastri can do, though. Piastri now just going through the final 2 corners. Lawson gets into the pits, and Piastri heads towards turn number 20. Here he is, out of the final corner. Only 5th place, 3 tenths back from his teammate. And yeah, 3 tenths again. We've just been seeing this pop up regardless of what time in the session, if it's an FP1 session, if it's FP2, or if it's Q1, Q2. 3 tenths is the gap between Norris and Piastri, unless it comes down right to the end of Q3, and at that point it gets a lot closer. So second place there for Charles Leclerc. And, this is the thing. Some drivers will be quick from the get-go. Every single lap that they do will be really quick. And then some drivers like Oscar Piastri, maybe they'll just build up to it. And then when it matters, right at the end of Q3, they'll put together their best lap. Ferrari, 2nd and 4th position for them. Looks like their pace, whatever it was in the sprint race, is significantly better for the actual race. So looking good there for Charles Leclerc. And 2nd for him, and 4th for Hamilton. The gap between the 2 Ferrari drivers also not all that big, so that is a good sign as well. The car is probably a little bit stable, a little bit more stable than normal. And yeah, well, Ferrari's back. Ferrari is back. We'll see how long that lasts for, though. Sonoda's coming over the radio saying Lawson is disturbing me on purpose, like slowing down in the corners. We'll see how that's going. But Lawson, of course, I'm sure he's not the bestest of friends with Yuki Tsunoda, given how he got demoted out of Red Bull pretty quick with Tsunoda replacing him. But yeah, maybe some animosity there on the racetrack. F1 Gamer, is Rally considered harder than F1? Well, it's just two totally different things, isn't it? It's like apples and oranges. Can't really compare them. Rally drivers would be pretty bad Formula 1 drivers. I'd say Formula 1 drivers would be pretty bad rally drivers in the grand scheme of things. So, yeah, unless you finish. If you finish, then maybe you'll be a good rally driver as well. I think Kimi Räikkönen had his... did do quite a bit of rallying back in the day. I think Bottas has also must have done a bit of rallying as well. But... yeah, they're both hard in their own regard. Hercules, thanks for the donation. Rooting for Ferrari feels like rooting for Sheldon Creed in NASCAR. The pain never stops, the joy only temporary. Yeah, I think it's like supporting Manchester United as well, isn't it? You have a lot of heritage, a lot of, in the past they were so good and this and that, and then you look at Manchester United results and they are pretty terrible. So, yeah, it's sort of like that. You sort of just keep hoping that the team will win and it just never happens. But thanks for the donation, Holocaust. And, I think that's common across a lot of sports. People sticking with one team, but the team just never delivering. All right. There we go. George Russell's out on his own, actually. He's out on a fresh set of tyres as well. He's also in the elimination zone, which is a bit of a surprise. So I guess he's just being 100% certain he doesn't get blocked by anyone. He doesn't get any traffic, no red flags to catch him out. He's just out there on his own to put together a flying lap. So that is good to see. Okay. Yeah. We've also hit 204k subscribers. Thanks everyone for subscribing, folks. We've just hit very, very nice indeed. We've just 5 subscribers over. It's wild. We hit 200k not last Saturday, but last race weekend on a Saturday. And here we are, 4,000 more subscribers later. So very much is appreciated, folks. Everyone is subscribing. All right, then here we go. George Russell, up the hill he goes. And... what can he do on his flying lap? Super close to the painted white line. Avoiding it, of course, it's not ideal in terms of pace. And we've got a graphic here. Kimi Antonelli's quicker in the slow speed corners compared to George Russell. So that's where Russell has been losing out. It's a little bit tight there between Russell and Hülkenberg going in towards turn number 3. He's not going to be happy, but there's not much he can do about it. And... he is, though, 2/10 up on Hülkenberg's time, who is currently on the edge of the elimination zone. He's also only half a tenth back from Max Verstappen. So good to see there from the first sector for George Russell. And let's see, does he get a toe off Yuki Tsunoda? Probably not. Tsunoda moves out of the way because, why would you give your rival a toe? Banana Goat says, $5 donation. Can I get a hell yeah? I think that's a good enough hell yeah. I don't know. But we'll see how it goes. For George Russell in the middle sector, 37.5. That's 2/10, 1.5 tenths down on the front runners. But if all 3 sectors are good enough, then he could be right up there. Here comes George Russell then on his flying lap. 3 minutes left on the clock, and through 19, through 20, he goes in well within track limits as well, which is good to see because he doesn't want a lap time deleted. And smoothly on the power across the line, 6th position, and he is 14 milliseconds back from Kimi Antonelli actually. In sprint quali, there was a very big gap between Russell and Antonelli. Now not so much. Maybe Antonelli's got a slightly better setup that suits him a little better. Maybe he's learned from the mistakes of sprint quali. But one thing's for certain, the Mercedes are looking good, and they're looking pretty strong as well. All right. What's the track temperature? Track temperature 44 degrees Celsius, so it's decreased ever so slightly. And air temperature is 34 degrees Celsius, so that has actually gone up. But track temperature has gone down to 44 degrees. I think there's a little bit of sun, a little bit of clouds here and there that are causing the track not to be so hot. Oh, we've got a little purple mini sector here from Yuki Tsunoda. Lots of commitment here from Tsunoda going through the start of the second sector, and we'll see if that continues on for him. Oh my goodness me, it's a little bit late here in the UK, and I actually got up, well, a bit earlier than I normally do. So, yeah, I'm a bit sleepy actually. But 1 minute and 30 seconds remain. We've got Piastri out onto this track. Max Verstappen, the only driver that's not coming out onto the circuit. He knows he's making it through, so why even bother? Tsunoda, though, very much is at risk of elimination, so we'll see if he can keep that under control. Antonelli purple in the middle sector. Wow. Russell was looking good, but Antonelli looking even better. Then we have got Behrman as well. Look at this. Behrman. Purple mini sectors here. This is really good there from Ollie Behrman. Lots of speed in the Haas. Of course, it's their home race as well, so they'll have quite a few American fans cheering them on. Antonelli, another toe, I think. 3:29. How's he doing that? He's the quickest out of anyone down the straights. Unfortunately, he is half a tenth slower than his previous best lap. Lando Norris, currently in 3rd position, starts his flying lap with 40 seconds left on the clock. Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton also planning to come across the line before the timer hits 0. And what does KO mean? KO is knocked out. So the driver's knocked out of qualifying. Yeah. All right, so here comes Liam Lawson. He's also starting a flying lap. Then we have got Lewis Hamilton also starting a flying lap. Everyone going as late as they possibly can, really, to get as much time, to get the best possible track conditions. Alonso is on a flying lap, though, 3:28. But has he backed out of it or something? I'm not sure. But regardless, we have got Alonso across the line, and yeah, he backed out of it. Mistake in the final sector meant that he was 7 seconds slower on that lap. So unfortunate there for Fernando Alonso. Maybe he makes it through, but it's going to be very close indeed. Colapinto and Gasly improving, but Colapinto still stays in 14th position. Then it is Gasly coming across the line. We'll see what he can do. Tsunoda also not looking all that good, to be honest. Tsunoda's actually knocked out of Q2, sorry. I didn't realise, but he was not on a flying lap. He is actually just knocked out. So, pretty standard Yuki Tsunoda activities. Liam Lawson has also backed out of his flying lap, so he's not improving by the looks of it. And, yeah, neither is Nico Hülkenberg. So they're coming into the pits. We'll see what the front runners can do who are still on their flying laps. Yeah, I mean, a lot of drivers sort of just backing out after the first sector. Hamilton is still going strong, I think. I don't think he's backed out just yet. Oh, no, he has. Yeah, Hamilton's blacked out as well. I mean, the thing is, because none of the drivers in the elimination zone improved by a huge margin, Hülkenberg, Lawson, and Tsunoda didn't improve by a huge margin. Gasly and Colapinto didn't improve as well in terms of their positions. The drivers in the top didn't need to improve. They just decided, oh well, we're not going to push because there's no need. So yeah, Behrman scrapes it through into Q3, though. That's good to see from Ollie Behrman, considering his teammate Esteban Ocon is down there in 17th place. He does get a lap time deleted, but it isn't a lap time that is relevant. It's a lap time from when he came out of the pits. So just ignore what I said there. You look like Montoya Loki. I've got that quite a lot, actually, folks, surprisingly enough. Alonso carrying that wagon. Yeah, Alonso is very much carrying the Aston Martin team on his back. He's literally got half of the positions of Lance Stroll. Stroll is in 18th. Fernando Alonso is in 9th. So, yeah, insert a Fernando Alonso meme here, which I haven't actually got loaded up on my screen. But my predictions. A lot of people actually asking for my predictions. Actually, I don't really know. For Q3, it looks like Max has got the upper edge on everyone. Really, the McLaren's not looking as strong as they were before. Max is off in the distance. The Ferrari's looking stronger. They look better, but I don't know how long lasting that really is. And the Mercs were close in Q1, but not so much in Q2, and it might carry on in Q3 and get even worse for them. So, my bet's on Max because he is doing pretty good so far. All right, I'll stick a timer up on the screen for when Q3 is getting underway, but it'll be just a matter of minutes now, folks, till we get going. Q3, there we go. Alrighty. Actually, no, that's probably an extra minute involved. But yeah, not too long now. What does the sector color mean on the charts? If you're referring to the charts on this side of the screen here, the yellow means slower than personal best, green means it is your personal best for this individual driver, and purple means fastest out of every single driver on the circuit. Yeah. Oscar's laying in the weight. He'll be fine in Q3. Maybe, maybe he is also just sort of mentally switched off. But Norris seems to have switched back on again. He's not too far off the pace. So who knows? It could be anyone. What's blue? Blue is the drivers driving in or out of the pit. So as everyone is in the pit lane, the final mini sectors are all blue here because they were in the pits, or in the pit lane, shall we say. Good to put a face to the voice. Nice to see you. Thanks. Yeah, nice to commentate to you guys, I guess. My qualifying prediction time was slightly delayed. It's in 3 minutes and 18 seconds, folks. 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Someone is live on Instagram streaming this stream. Well, if you could let me know who that is, Arnav, then that would very much be appreciated. Folks, if anyone is listening to this via an Instagram live stream, come along to YouTube. We've got 15,000 people watching the stream on YouTube. The channel is F1 Gamer. Yeah. Okie dokes. Nice to put a name to the face. Larry, yeah. Well, Larry Montoya, that is my name, isn't it? Why the 3 qualifications and not just one? Makes it a little bit more exciting, doesn't it? We have drivers doing multiple different qualifying runs, multiple, occurrences for things to go wrong, things for drivers to get eliminated from. So that's probably why. What are the green dots on the track? The green dots are the DRS detection points, so they're not so important for today's qualifying, but for the race tomorrow, if the drivers are within 1 second of the driver ahead of them at this green dot, then they will have DRS down the following straight, and the same thing for this green dot and this DRS straight here. Okay. I've been asking for hours, give me your predictions. I said no. I said I think Verstappen's getting pole, and then Antonelli out-qualifies George Russell, and Charles Leclerc is on the second row. Yeah. Hi, F1 Gamer. Why is Hamilton's sector times in the 25s when everyone else is in the 30s? It's because Hamilton aborted his lap. So everyone was going 25s in everyone else was doing a slow lap, and that's why their first sector times was in the 30s, and then Hamilton's time was in the 25s because he was still pushing. So, yeah. Okie dokes. So that is it, folks. Actually, what I could do is, where's my webcam? Since the drivers have been eliminated, I could make my face ever so slightly bigger and could put it here. It's a little bit in a weird position in the middle of the screen, but that way you guys actually get to see track temperature as well and stuff like that. So, I'll put it here maybe. And you can still see that the drivers on the left have been eliminated, and I'm not covering up any important data. The white dot is the speed trap, folks. Indeed, it is. 12 minutes on the clock, 44 degrees track temperature, so slightly lower track temperature than we saw earlier in the session. So that should favour not the McLarens. It should favour maybe the Mercedes team, maybe the Red Bull team, and yeah. All right. What's the origami swan bunting that you got? It's the origami cranes. Origami cranes very kindly given to me by one of my friends. So yeah. Am I Iranian? No, I am. I'm Indian actually. Born in Mumbai. But yeah, live in the UK. All right, we've got drivers out on the track. I don't know why it says Q2. It's probably because I didn't update it. But Q3, drivers out on track. Bearman's out first, then Oscar Piastri. Is it going to be a fresh set of tyres for Oscar Piastri? That is the first key piece of information. It's a fresh set of tyres for George Russell by the looks of it. It's a U set for Piastri, a U set for Bearman. So it looks like their first runs are going to be done on U sets. And yeah, they're just going to have to sort of adapt from the U set to the fresh set for their final run. But sometimes that works in their favour as well. All right. Yeah. How many subs for you to use your green screen, your green hoodie as a green screen and put Max Verstappen on it? I don't know, actually. To be honest, I don't know how to do that. So that's the first problem. So, yeah. All right. Here we go then. We've got Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc all out onto the track, all of them weaving left, right, getting those tyres up into temperature. And for any of the folks that weren't listening a little bit earlier on, you know what I can do actually? I can take you through an onboard lap of the circuit. Let me make this ever so slightly smaller and put the onboard lap on the right-hand side there. All right, so I'll take you through an onboard lap of the circuit, show you what the circuit looks like, so you can get a good idea. In fact, let's go in sync with Ollie Bearman. Ollie Bearman, I think, is now just starting a flying lap. So this is around about in sync with Ollie Bearman. I'll just go a few seconds up ahead, up the road. But yeah, you're going up the hill in towards turn number 1. Super duper late on the brakes. You've got uphill braking as well. So you want to make sure that you are, well, braking, taking that into account when you're braking, because of course the uphill nature of the track helps you slow down. Then through the S section you go, the driver's neck's actually really intense loading for the driver's neck. You turn left, then right, and you've got 5G worth of force just pushing your neck to the left, pushing it to the right. You'll see some of the rookies actually, if you watch their onboards and just look at their helmet, you'll just see it like going like this every time they turn, because their necks just aren't fully prepared for the intense G-forces around this track, especially in sector number 1. Then you go down the back straight, of course, open that DRS flap. Maybe there's a driver ahead of you to give you a nice tow. We'll keep that into account. Maybe that was the repercussions, the repercussions we were talking about at the start of the weekend between Norris and Piastri. Maybe Norris will be forced to give Piastri a tow at the end of Q3 here. Yeah, you make your way through the slow section here. At this point in time, your tyres are really overheating, especially your rear tyres, so you've got to be super smooth, upshift early to reduce wheel spin, and then hug the inside line to reduce the distance that you travel. Tap the brakes, flick it to the left, and do the same again for the final corner, and hope that everything sticks and you're within track limits. Ollie Bearman, a 133.1 from him, and that is him across the line. First run done of Q3. Oscar Piastri, oh my goodness me, Oscar Piastri is 0.3 slower than Oliver Bearman, and he was on the same used tyres. It wasn't like Bearman was on fresh sets, Piastri was on used tyres. Piastri was 0.3 slower. Not ideal, not ideal. Was that flying lap from set by me? Yeah, I was driving on the simulator flying lap. It wasn't really that quick, to be honest, but yeah. Piastri's cooked. Well, we'll see. He's still got another lap left to go, so let's not count him out too early. But Max Verstappen, purple in the first sector, 1 millisecond faster. Look at that, just at the top right there. Norris is a 24.915. Max Verstappen a 24.914. 1 millisecond faster through the first sector. It is so close between all of these drivers, and yeah, wow. Okie dokes, here comes Lewis Hamilton then. Charles Leclerc is slower than Piastri by 4 seconds. He had to back out of it on in the final sector. And Hamilton is slower than Piastri. We've got a Mercedes 1-2 that's quickly taken away by Lando Norris, who goes top of the times by 0.5 of a second, but Max Verstappen, purple sector 1, purple sector 2, he's not waiting around for anyone, and he's a man on a mission, hugging the inside line through 16, 17, 18. This corner just goes on and on and on, but the Red Bull stable enough to take it well within track limits again, kicking up just a little bit of dust through 18, 19 and 20, and across the line for Max. It is provisional pole by 0.4 of a second. That is, wow, 0.4. Incredible there from Max. And honestly, is Lando Norris going to be able to get close to this? I have no idea. We're down into the 132.5 range. So still worse than yesterday's pole time, if I'm correct. So yeah, unless yesterday's pole was a 133, which I should probably check on my phone. But if I remember correctly, it was a 132. Yeah. I don't know what McLaren have done, if they have changed. Well, they have changed the setup, as I clarified earlier on in the race, earlier on in the stream, and it was not a good setup choice. Oh no, Max did a 132.1, so it's still 0.4 slower than yesterday. I'm not sure how or why that is, but it is what it is. Alrighty. Is Piastri's car damaged? Probably not. I mean, maybe, there is sort of these rumors that keep going around. Not rumors per se, but it's sort of like an old Formula One tale. Also, I'd like to just point out Charles Leclerc spun on the final corner, and that's why he was 4 seconds down and is in 10th position. So that's why he is right at the back. Verstappen's come over the radio saying that the track is a little bit more difficult. So that's probably not helping him out, and that explains why he's 0.4 down in terms of lap time from yesterday. And the final thing that I'd sort of like to say is that there is sort of this thing that sometimes flies around in Formula One, rumours and stuff like that, and it is that the chassis of the car, can get a little crack, it can get a little damage over the course of races, over the course of impacts. If this was the same chassis that Oscar Piastri crashed a few times in Baku, then he also crashed again today with Lando Norris and Nico Hülkenberg. There are certain things, certain impacts that can damage the chassis, cause it to flex in unwanted directions, and can cause these unexplained differences in lap time. But honestly, it's a little bit too early for this. Piastri's had one bad qualifying lap. So we'll see what happens in the second run. It's a little bit too early to start blaming the chassis is broken for Oscar Piastri. Maybe he's just had a bad lap. All right. So here we go then. Oscar's got to lock in. Folks, who do you think it is? Who do you think is going to get pole position? Does Max Verstappen even have to go out? This could be pure domination for Max. He could literally just sit in the pit lane and potentially get pole position. Is that what you think could happen? Who knows? Ferrari meme is living strong. Actually, it is. It's time to get the Ferrari meme back up. Where's it gone? Here we go. Ferrari meme's back. In fact, it might as well sit on the screen right now because it's not looking too good for the Ferrari team. Also, I think someone mentioned it a little bit earlier on, and I think, to be fair, quite a few people have mentioned it. It's a good point that some people have brought up, saying that on live Sky Sports broadcasts and on BBC broadcasts and ESPN broadcasts, you never really see the commentator in wherever they are commentating at that moment in time, But I guess the reason why I have decided to have a webcam and sort of just show you guys what I'm doing, what I'm looking like, is because it is a YouTube live stream. It's not the most formal thing in the world. It's not the most serious thing in the world, as are the fact that I've got a meme right next to me. So yeah, hope you guys don't mind too much. I still say that when the race is actually going on, when there's actual flying laps going on, I'd like to think my commentary is reasonably professional. But when there's not much going on, why not have a bit of fun, have some more memes out? All right, so here we are then. Qualifying laps underway. Charles Leclerc starting his flying lap from turn number 20. Doesn't spin this time, and he heads his way up towards turn number 1. Unfortunately, it is not sunset time right now in Texas, so we're not going to get the perfect Skyfall Charles Leclerc plus sunset lap around COTA combination, but he does get a nice exit out of turn number 1, a little bit squirrely on the throttle, but a nice upshift will solve that for Charles Leclerc. Then going through the S's, the car looking pretty good, especially over the curbs as well. Looks reasonably planted. He's a 10th down on Max Verstappen's sector time through sector number 1. And then down the hill he goes towards turn number 11. Is he going to get a tow off Max Verstappen? Is he going to get a tow off Antonelli? They're a little bit far up the road, but let's see. Verstappen's been told over the radio, we need to go right now. We're a bit late on the schedule, and Verstappen's it's cutting it close here for Max. 45 seconds left on the clock. It might be a bit tight to make it all the way to the start-finish line. We'll see how it goes for him. But Charles Leclerc is now, Max is getting out of the way for Charles. Charles is 2/10 down on Max's time right now, so he's looking quicker than Lando Norris up until this moment in time. So the Ferrari memes back currently, we're at the we're so back phase. If Charles Leclerc can hold this final sector together, he's going to end up in second place. So Hamilton's middle sector, not so good. He's going to end up behind Lando Norris, actually, if it continues this way. Here comes Charles Leclerc across the line. What's it going to be for the Monegasque? Second position. Fantastic job from him. Second place for the Ferrari driver. Checkered flag is out. Max Verstappen just gets across the line, I think. Oh no, Verstappen doesn't get across the line. They've screwed it up. Verstappen is not going to get his second quali lap. Is it going to matter though? I don't think so. Hamilton across the line, 4th place for him. He's 4/10 back from Max Verstappen, and currently Lando Norris is in a Ferrari sandwich. Max Verstappen does not come across the line in time. Will this cost him pole position? Only time will tell. Norris's first sector looks pretty strong. Here comes Mr. Saturday himself. He got pole position in Singapore. Can he do it again? It's only 3rd place for him, but he is a full 3/10 back. Carlos Sainz is flying like crazy. The Williams livery is absolutely mega. Out of the final corner he comes across the line. It's still 8th position for Carlos Sainz. Okay, next up, Lando Norris. He was 2nd place in sprint quali. He was 71 milliseconds back from Max Verstappen. He comes across the line. Is it going to be enough? Still, it is not enough. He is 3 full tenths back from Max Verstappen, his championship rival. Oscar Piastri did not have the best run in the first start part of Q3. He now comes across the line. It's still 6th position. He is 6 tenths back there from Lando Norris. Sorry, 3 tenths back from Lando Norris, 6 tenths back from Max Verstappen. Fernando Alonso stays in 10th position, not enough pace in the Aston Martin today. Antonelli across the line, he stays in 7th position as well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is the end of qualifying, and Max Verstappen is on pole position after not even setting the final run in Q3. He didn't even need the second lap. He might as well have just sit in the pit lane. Well done, Max Verstappen. He's done it again. He got pole position yesterday. He's got pole position today. And this time he's got it by an even bigger margin. What can you say? Oscar has got a lot of work to do. Today may have not been the best day. Tomorrow is going to be a fresh day. He's got to have a quick reset and make some quick places up on the race start because you can't let Max get away with this one. Championship is on the line. Simply lovely from Max Verstappen. One run is enough for the championship, the defending world champion. And thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. Very much is appreciated that everyone's tuned in and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and everything. So I'm going to be commentating for the race tomorrow. It is wherever you are in the world right now. If you go back 4 hours and 15 minutes. If you go back 3 hours and 15 minutes, that's when the race starts for tomorrow. And look forward to seeing you then. So I'm going to end the stream now. I'll take you over to tomorrow's stream. Just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also the reminder button as well. Those are the 3 things that really help out the channel. But that's all from me. It's been quite the exciting weekend so far. We had an incredible sprint race of 19 laps of racing. We can now have triple the number of laps. So, there we go. I shall see you in, see you in around 20 hours or so. I'm not sure. See you later. Bye-bye, folks.